What's up, YouTube? I'm back. I know it's been a month since I posted my last video, but the reason why it's been a month since I posted my last video is because I went to go get my CDL. And I went to a starter company, which is known as CR England. Now, the reason why I chose that school is because it advertised 10 days and you can get your CDL. So I wanted to see what it was about. I went on YouTube, seen some videos about it, some positive reviews, some negative reviews. So I wanted to experience it for myself. So I'm going to give you a step-by-step, in-depth review of the program. Excuse me. So first we're going to start with the actual recruiting phase. So once you fill out that, it wasn't even an application. Once you show interest, a recruiter will reach out to you within 15 minutes. Literally, guys, I probably did it at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I had someone reach out to me within 2 hours. Basically give me a rundown. What I had to do was I had to send him my MVR. They had to check my driver record, my background, and to make sure that I wasn't on any medications or things of that nature that would prevent me from being able to work for the company. So that was the first portion, just like a brief interview. The second part was me actually going to go get my DOT physical, and then they sent me a handbook to study for my permit test. Now, all of this was in like maybe 2 or 3 days that I got all this completed. So they hit me up on a Thursday, which is the first week of February. And they was like, hey, we need you out here by February 8th. Which means I had to, I'm sorry, it's a cop in front of me, guys. So I had to blow my phone. Which means that I had to literally cram for the CDL, for the permit test, and be available to leave on February 8th. Which is what I did. Like, I studied. They gave me all the materials for it. They even set up DMV appointment time. And it was scheduled for that Thursday because February 8th was a Monday. So 7th, Sunday, 6th, 4th. They had it scheduled for February 4th. Me being me, I took it February, and I'm lying. I was talking to the recruiter the last week in January because I took that CDL test maybe that Monday or that Tuesday. Like that Monday or that Tuesday I took it. I didn't even take it that Thursday. I took it that Monday or Tuesday and passed. I passed the air brakes, combination, and general knowledge. And they actually give you it's a website. They give you like every test, like practice test. And it's 8 sections each. So it's 8 general knowledge tests, 8 combination, 8 air brakes. So they actually give it to you, whatever. So I passed that. I called a recruiter. I'm like, okay, what's the next step? They was like, all right, well, where are you coming from? And of course, I'm coming from the East Coast. I'm coming from South Carolina. They was like, okay, well, we'll get you a bus. So you had 2 options. You can take a plane, use your own money to get on the plane, and they'll reimburse you. Or you can take a bus. I chose the bus to get the full experience. I never take a bus ride again. The bus ride was 36 hours. From South Carolina to Utah. It wasn't bad. I will say that my only gripe about the actual bus ride was the fact that when we actually got in Utah, we had to wait for a shuttle to pick us up, and that took like 30 minutes, and it's freezing cold. By the way, the recruiter is going to tell you the stuff you should bring and stuff you should wear. Here's the honest review about that, right? You should wear 2 layers of clothes out there. It was freezing, no lie. It was sometimes 17 degrees, 20 degrees. It was snowing a lot. Things you should bring. You're gonna stay in the hotel, so they're gonna tell you that, oh well, you need to bring a sleeping bag, all this other. No. bring a pillow, bring some covers, bring some sheets. Because you won't need it when you first get there, but when you go out on the road, you're going to need it. And I'll get to that in a second. So, make sure you have that. Make sure you have clothes for, I would say, 8 days. So, 8 days straight that you're not wearing the same thing twice. Make sure you have clothes for that. Make sure you bring money to wash your clothes. Make sure you bring money to eat. The cafeteria is very expensive. My suggestion is bring at least $500. And I know you guys are like, man, $500 is a lot of money. Yes, it is. But if you go grocery shopping, because they have a Walmart shuttle that comes at 5 p.m. every Monday and Wednesday. Here's the kicker to that. You have to stay on campus to get that. There's a workaround around it. There's a Walmart app where they'll deliver the groceries to you. If you spend about $120, maybe $140, probably less than that, you can probably spend $60 on groceries and be straight your whole time there. Now, occasionally you want to grab something else to eat besides what's in the cafeteria. I mean, besides what you get from Walmart. Completely understandable. The reason why I say bring $500 because you may need to buy extra layer of clothes, whatever the case may be. And when you go on the road with your instructor, sometimes you guys might stop at the T8. Not only that, if you take the bus, you're stopping to get something to eat. So it's good to have that money on you. Steel toe boots. They're going to tell you, oh yeah, make sure you have comfortable closed shoes, steel toe boots. Do not bring them. The reason being, the steel toe boots aren't insulated. So whatever that temperature is outside with that steel toe boot you got on, it's going to be 2 degrees less. Your foot is going to be frozen. So I wouldn't do it. Not steel toe. I wore some Merrell. I think they call it Merrell. It was like kind of like rock climbing or hybrid type shoes, but they got the poly material. That's kind of like rubber. So I wore those. My first night, we stayed in the dorms because we couldn't get a hotel. It was so late. But the next day I was in a hotel. From then on. And I stayed in the Holiday Inn Express. Definitely a nice hotel. When the recruiter tells you you're going to be there 10 days, that's a lie. Okay? You're going to be there more than 10 days. The reason why I say this is because you can't account for the weather. And there's so many classes that's coming in, there's no possible way you can get everything completed. So your first day is orientation, paperwork. They're going to give you a pre-trip book. Your pre-trip is what you're naming on the truck. Here's the thing about that. I didn't know anything about trucks before going down there. If you study that pre-trip book, you're going to pass. If you say everything in that pre-trip book verbatim, you're going to pass. The pre-trip book is long, but in the state of Utah, when you do your pre-trip, which means you're just checking your vehicle to make sure that it's good to go out on the road. When you're doing your pre-trip, it allows you to break it down in 4 sections. You have part A, which is the front of the tractor. So everything that's under the hood before you get to the door. You have part B, which is the door, and then it's the door, and then like your rear drive tires. Then you have part C, which is your trailer. Then you have part D, which is the whole vehicle. And then you have your coupling system that you have to do. You have a tug test, an air brake test, transition. They'll get into all that, but excuse me, as long as you buckle down on that studying, you'll be just fine. Mind you, that's something you have to do. Yes, they will go over it with you maybe 1 or 2 days, but then you have to start doing it on your own. Your next couple of days is going to revolve around backing and driving on the highway. Word of advice, when they have open range for backing, even if you just started and they have open range for backing, go back. Go back. Even if you don't know what's going on, get the feel of the truck. I promise you, get the feel of the vehicle, because once you take that test, You're gonna be like, okay, I'm glad I practiced for this. It's better to practice something and don't know what you're doing versus wait until you figure out what you're doing and then try to practice in limited time. When it comes to the back end, they're going to give you steps to complete your back end. You have 3 maneuvers that you have to pass on your CDL test. You have straight back, straight line backing, which you pull all the way up and then you back up. You have your offset backing, and it's offset to the left, I want to say. Maybe offset to the right, I'm sorry. You're offset to the offset to the left, I'm sorry. You're offset to the left. And basically what you're doing, you're just pulling up, and then you're making a hard right, then a hard left, then a hard right, which is going to get you into the other lane. And then you have parallel, and you parallel to the right. And they're going to give you steps to kind of show you how to, they're going to give you steps to kind of show you how to get everything completed. What lines to make sure that your drive tires, your tandem tires are touching. Like it's very formulated. Like it's formulated down to a T. So as long as you complete what they're telling you, you'll be just fine. And then you have the road test. The road test is absolutely easy. All you have to do is keep your tandem tires in the lines. Don't speed. Don't hit corners. I'm gonna tell you now before you get there. If you never drove a truck before, you want to turn your vehicle, and this is what they're going to teach you when you're down there. You want to turn your vehicle in the halfway point of a street. What I mean by that is if you're taking a right, normally when you're taking a right into a road, you have the lines in the middle. You want to wait till your shoulder is lined up with that line, and then you want to make a wide turn and bring it back in. Right now, it makes no sense, but you will see that trailer tandem tires, if you don't make the turn wide enough, it can bobtail and hit the curb. And that's an automatic fail on the test. And you don't want that, right? So that's just a little bit of information about the class or your test. Now, I said it's going to be more than 10 days. If you fail, let's say you take the pre-trip. Let's say you take the test and you pass pre-trip, but you fail backing. According to DOT regulations in the state of Utah, they cannot touch you for 48 hours. Which means if you fail on a Tuesday, you can't take that test again until Friday. Now that 10 days is extended to 13 days because you have the 2 that you have to sit back, and then you have the additional day that you have to test. That's why I say be prepared. Don't come in nervous. So what if you haven't drove a truck? You're going to have people there you're going to be on the back end range. They're going to be laughing. Oh my God, what is this person doing? This person know what they're doing. How are they struggling? Those same people that say that are the same people that fail the first time they take a test. Because they're overconfident. I would say get your jitters out early and just embrace a change and go there to learn. What else can I say about my experience? I passed first try. It was difficult. I had great instructors, but tough instructors. I had instructors that wanted you to succeed and didn't mind yelling at you to correct anything that you had going on, but would spend the necessary time to help you out. So, I won't do any name drops, but they have great instructors there. Overall, once you pass the test, then you get on the road, you get your 180 hours, and then you go into like your upgrade phases. If you think you're about to go there, and then once you pass your CDL, you say, okay, I'm gonna get my hours and then go home. Wrong. You're gonna go there, you're gonna spend your 10 days, you're gonna get your CDL, or you're gonna pass the test. Then you're gonna wait for a mentor to get you. You're gonna do your 180 hours with modules that you have to complete, which takes 3.5, 4 weeks. So that's 10 days plus your additional month. They don't tell you about 10 days plus your additional month. Then, once you pass the upgrade phase, you can apply for home time. Notice I said apply for home time. And the home time has to be put in a week in advance of the time that you need to be home. So you can't upgrade past and say, hey, I want to have this weekend off. It doesn't work that way. So that's a month plus 2 weeks. So now you have 10 days, a month and 2 weeks. So basically, let's say 2 months before you're able to see your home. And that's me being honest and realistic as possible on the experience that you're gonna have here. Now, most people get their CDL leave. Then you're stuck with a bill for $5,000. But if you're comfortable paying that bill for $5,000 back, hey, go ahead. I had a guy in my class got a CDL and left. I passed the test. Once you pass the test, they input it into the it's the CLDIS or CLDSI. It's the commercial driver's license information system, something like that. It's a board that the DMV can pull up by your name, show that you pass, and then you go to your home state and you get CDL. People do it all the time, and they're okay with paying the $5,000 back because they're coming to a job that's paying them more than what CRA would pay them to start off with. So I would just say if you're looking to go into trucking, it's a great starter company. If you're looking to make money right away, you're not going to make it with this company. If you're looking to get your CDL and leave, that's an option. They have one of the fastest programs where they tell you 10 days, but I'm going to be realistic with you. It's more like 12 to 15 days. So that's what I would prepare for, 12 to 15 days. So yeah, that's my review process, and I'm just telling you what I wasn't told. You know, like I said, it wasn't a bad program. Program was phenomenal for me because I had one goal: get my CDL leave or that job offer back home. Excuse me. So I knew I didn't want to make that a career at all. Not there anyways. I just want to get my CDL. And the thing about it is, once you're there, the school isn't teaching you to become a truck driver. They're teaching you how to pass and get your CDL. That's what they're teaching you. They're teaching you how to pass and get your CDL. You don't learn how to drive trucks in everyday life until you get out with that mentor. So keep that in mind. Don't think you're gonna go down there and all of a sudden I can drive, because that's not the case. When you get with your road instructor, he's gonna teach you turns, advanced turns, driving on the highway. He's not gonna teach you how to back in the docks. That's what happens when you get out on the road with your mentor. But they do that because they know you cannot leave this school with just a CDL alone with no experience. That's why they make you do the upgrade phase. And they baby step you along the way. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that. They're going to ask you, hey, who's here just to get their CDL and then quit? Do not say anything, because if you say, hey, I'm one of those people, you're going to get sent home for wasting those people's time. So it's just a lot of things to take into account. If I had to do it all over again, I'd have been in this program earlier. I already had my CDL, probably already had my truck. I'm doing it later in life, which is fine. I got it. I'm going to the DMV tomorrow to go get my CDL and start this trucking journey. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or concerns, leave a comment. I'm an open book. I'm going to be God honest with you. I'm going to tell you the truth about the program. I'm going to tell you what the recruiters aren't going to tell you, because their whole job is to get you down there. So I'll tell you the truth. But comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you.